I've been collecting Transformers for almost a year now. It's been pretty cool so far, but one line of figures that really made me smile was the Kingdom Core class. I figured I'd talk about them in my original video series idea, Toy Opinions, presented with haste. An idea that no one has come up with before me. I'll be talking about these four dudes. If you want to know why I'm not reviewing Rat Trap or the Bone Boys, basically because I don't feel like it. I'll start with Optimus Prime, because I am nothing if not predictable and boring. Of all the figures in this line, I'd say he's the most alright. You know, he looks enough like Optimus, transforming him isn't too difficult, and placing a gun on his truck mode only makes me a little bit sick to my stomach. You can see his feet in truck mode, though to be fair, if I had to describe all these toys with 5 words, it would be, I can see their feet. But I guess his feet are just the most noticeable. Anyway, good on him. Next up is Megatron, looking like he's getting ready for a camping trip with that big old bag. Nah, I'm joshing. The torso and shoulders give him a hulking silhouette. Can make him tough to balance, but it's worth the trouble to give him some menacing poses. Megatron's transformation flows so well. Everything moves into place with an occasional satisfying click. And you end up with a teeny tiny tank. And if you're one of those folks that preferred when Megatron turned into a Rudy Tooty point and shooty, well, good news. He carries a gun in the style of his 80s alt mode. Speaking of which, the instructions tell you to add it to the barrel of his tank mode, but it's hard to ignore that his cannon is just, a handgun. You can leave it be if you don't mind Megatron looking a little stubby. I'm willing to forgive it because look at him twist and tilt. Mamma mia, as the Germans say. And like with all tank Megatrons, I love making him stand upright like a super deformed lad. When I first got Starscream, I really disliked him. I warmed up to the figure quite a bit since then, but I must admit he's still my least favourite of the clique. I feel like he's too complicated for a desk toy, but too simple to be a standard bot. He keeps falling apart while I'm trying to build him, his chest never closes up in jet mode, his tail fins could be difficult and pointy, he's just ugh. One nice thing I can say is that he's the best at blending his weapon into his alt mode. He's the only one where they look like they're supposed to be there and not just stuck on to keep them from falling behind your desk. And hey, his head can become landing gear. I think we can all agree that's a thing. I saved the best for last, Soundwave. I originally bought this guy to be a little desk toy, and he was so good I decided I should actually start collecting Transformers. He's small, detailed, full of little surprises, and fun. Oh boy, what a fun little dude he is. I could transform this guy in my sleep. He's just so straightforward and enjoyable. I mess with him all the time like a fidget cube with legs. He's the second best at doing away with his weapons after Starscream, turning into little batteries on his back. He even comes with a little laserbeak tape. What more could you ask for? To be able to hold hands with a full-size Soundwave like he was his own baby boy? Well, he can! Little Soundwave Jr. I even bought a second one just to display. That's less of a pro for this figure and more of a indictment of my terrible spending habits. Soundwave is indeed superior. Well, that's the lot of them. Some tiny dudes with big attitudes. They're great for posing while you're bored, or have them interact with your bigger toys to spice up the old displays. That's all for me. Gavin Spence, if you're watching out there, thanks for inspiring me to make this, and I'll see you in court, mate.
Right, to start off with, can we give Blurr a break? Every time Blurr is brought up in a Transformers video, it's to talk smack on him. Oh, he talks too fast. He's annoying. He's the fastest Autobot, but it never comes up in the plot. Wait, that was my complaint. But Blurr was a good character. He asked Magnus how he could help. He tried to get the Dinobots onto the shuttle. He said there was no hope without the Matrix. Iconic moments. Oh, and remember when he and Wheelie teamed up in Season 3? Wait, no, don't remember that. Don't remember that. John Moschetta Jr., voice actor extraordinaire, poured his heart and soul into this character, yet you all return his passion with contempt. Well, pooey on you, I say. I think I'm forgetting something. Right, the toy review. This is Studio Series Blurr. I bought this guy last year because I felt as a Blurr stan, it was my responsibility to prevent this guy from collecting dust at Target, like the fossilizers and all those RCs. Look at him, sporting those sexy asthma inhaler colours, his ye old robot wig, a condiment dispenser for a hand, Absolute stud. I bet you're patiently waiting for me to bring up the heresy of his hood being kibble on his back. Well, I'm going to be the only one brave enough to say it. I'm glad the front of Blurr's car isn't a shield. The shield always looked like crap. You Gen 1ers are so scared of change that you'll criticize any good idea just because it didn't adhere to toy design from an era that was one step above banging rocks together to make fire! And the arms are quite cool. Now the arms... You right there, mate? I'm sticking my neck out for you, buddy. You maybe want to do the bare minimum of being presentable? No? Nah, that's fine, pal. I'll come up with some feeble defense for you. Anything of my favourite Autobot. I'm glad you imprinted on my neurodivergent brain as a kid. Became a hyperfixation. Then convinced said brain that any slight against you is a slight against me. It's really improved my life for the better. So anyway, I like giving him this long sleeve version. Make him look like he's holding dustbusters or subway trains. Looks so good. Who needs to hold a gun? I call it the not compensating for shoddy arms mode. Now I had planned to talk about how the car mode sucked because I always struggled with the transformation. But when I played around with him this week without the instructions, it occurred to me that I'd just been doing it wrong. Were the instructions garbage or was I just not following them right? Either way, some good old instinct fixed up the issues I had with him. Which is a shame. I was planning on having this lead to an old-fashioned review-style tantrum. You know, I'd chuck a hissy, I'd argue with a teen version of myself about if Blurr was ever good, or force a crossover guest star to show me the way, or, you know, this is probably for the better. Look, I'm just happy to see a good-looking version of my childhood fave. Though I still feel like I haven't done a good enough job convincing you guys that Blurr is cool. I imagine referring to him as an asthma inhaler didn't help. Hang on a second.
We're all gonna die. This is it. That's the end. We're finished.
If I ever need to remember why I like Blurr, I look at how he was done in Transformers Animated. Right off the bat, this is my favourite Transformer design of all time. I love the colour, the points, the skinny parts, the bulky parts, these wheel ankles. But he's great in the cartoon as well. Blurr works so much better as a guest character instead of as part of the main cast. His fast talking is a bit of rare fun instead of being at risk of becoming overused. Also, him being the fastest Autobot is actually brought up in the story. And teen heartthrob John Machida Jr. gets to return to the role that brings him so much joy, right up until the moment it brings him sadness. The toy. He's great for posing, he's got some nice glowy eyes, he looks really fast, and damn, he's sexy. If I had one complaint, it'd be the hands. They're not great, but that's about it for me. And don't worry, you got your precious shield for this one. It's just like the good old days, huh? Caveman-like when familiar. Unga bunga, me-like shield. Ooh, him make fire without rock! I thought I could use my newly acquired transforming intuition to convert animated Blurr without instructions, but man, I was wrong. But one video tutorial later, new and improved animated Blurr is sleek, sexy, and port with turbo handling. Now, I don't know if this is the age showing or if this is how all animated Blurs were, but this guy's a tad on the jumpy and brittle side. You know, you try to fix one thing and you make the back wheel pop or an arm might come loose and yeah. So there's two Blurs for you. In the future, I might allow myself to enjoy some other Blurs, like the Headmaster one or the Unicron Trilogy one, or... well, I'll look at most of the Blurs anyway. For now, I have two good Blurs. That makes me feel pretty good. And it's not like I'm obsessed with characters with a one-note speech gimmick. Right, guys?
Monkey. So then I said, Groundbuster, I hardly ground Noah. I saw him for $4 and thought, is that a little simian that turns into construction equipment? I must have it now. There's not a whole lot to say about him. You know, he looks like an ape with wings, transforms very easily, and brings a small amount of joy for a small amount of money. You know, not everything needs to be a masterpiece or a callback to a classic character or be bright purple to make you happy. I mean, it certainly helps. It's Bisexual Visibility Day, and that means... yes! I get to enjoy Spinister again. First of all, how great is the name Spinister? Giving an evil helicopter the name of Spin and Sinister. Stroke of genius. Second of all, the colours. Purple, pink, blue, with some silver and grey to make it pop, and a helmet of black, yellow and teal? I don't know how it works, but I love looking at this guy. And the more I look at this guy, the more I love this form. Who is the brainiac that gave a Transformer bell-bottom jeans? I want to kiss the back of their hand. Every pose this bi-icon does looks dynamic and cool. He looks great, even if you just leave him be, you know? Let bicons be bicons. Oh, and check this out. Legend. Now, as for the weapons, they're both references to his original Target Masters, Singe and Hairsplitter, which you can buy full toy versions of, but one of them's bundled with a limited Amazon figure, and forget it. These do just fine. And, guess it's a Transformer, eh? This is my first gripe with the figure. Transforming him is never fun. Starts okay with the arms, you know, they click together alright. He even looks like he's ready to do a little fisticuffs. Who says bi-folk don't know what to do with their hands, huh? It's around the time I spin his legs halfway that I, begin to get lost. Sorry, what? How? Huh? After all that, here's my second gripe. The helicopter becomes a big heli-cop-out. That's not the worst name, actually. Better trademark that. Now, I can't explain this, but the colours I was just praising not long ago are now my least favourite part. I wish I understood colour theory enough to explain why it works on a bloke, but not as a spinny winny made of tinny. But here we are. What I can explain is his obvious feet, and obvious hands, and obviously hard to hide second cockpit lead to this mode looking a little muddled. Especially when they don't clip in correctly! Alright, this better have a good spin. Ha! Alright, I'll let you go this time. Now get back to your good mode before I change my mind, alright? You'd think a Transformer that I don't like to transform would be an instant thumbs down. But I like the guy anyway. Hell, I might end up shedding a few dollars for his trans pride cousin, Rotorstorm. I'm just that much of a schmuck. Well, bisexual visibility day is over. Time to fade back into erasure. Bye-bye! You get it? Because he... Oh, fuck.
Welcome, weary traveler. Tonight I will show you true horror. Behold, the most terrifying of all creatures, the crocodile.
This is Skull Smasher from Titan's Return, based on Skull Cruncher from the G1 Headmasters. Now let's take a look at this alt mode. A robotic crocodilian. What a fun idea. His limbs and weapons have been perfectly blended into this mode, and even give his tail room to waggle. What a cutie! And see this bit on his back? It opens up into a cockpit for his headmaster, Grax. And this head is the cherry on top. Those gorgeous eyes, that opening jaw, the head that turns around. Oh, God! You alright? We better move on.
But that's just the beginning of this spectacular evening. For the only thing scarier than the crocodile is two crocodiles.
While the Titan's Return figure couldn't get the name, this version from the Retro Headmasters release keeps the Skull Cruncher name. He also has a paint job based on his original toy, and a new head based on his cartoon appearance. The transformation is quite easy and fun. You pop off his tail, do a little unfolding,
Hit it, boom!
and you're set. Don't forget the toesies. What an outfit! Pink gloves, pink boots, white trousers, crocodile bits hanging all over. Fashion icon, this guy is. Though that croc skin backpack does make balancing him a real pain, especially with the hollow legs. Good luck getting a good pose out of this goon. His weapons give you a few options. Gun, a trowel, a reptilian supergun, or a shooting bay for Grax.
Now I hail through the screen.
Thank heavens, the horrors are over.
No, they are not. Now you shall witness the most horrifying, blood-curdling thing of all. A third crocodile.
This bloody thunder! Either rain or go away. I'm sick of the pre-storm humidity. This is Croc. When I saw this guy on sale, I thought he was a G2 repaint of some sort. But in fact, he's based on the action master of the same name, though replacing his transforming gun with a transforming head, who according to the card is called Gatorface. Ha! Outstanding! No actual changes to talk about for the Croc mode, just this beautiful paint job. The world was truly crying out for a gothic crocodile, especially one with a transparent yellow tongue. Now you don't see much of that neon yellow in Croc form, but transform him and oh mate, those trousers demand your attention. And here we see the head is modelled after his original toy. In fact, his colours are almost a perfect recreation. A real nice touch. I know repaints are a dime a dozen, but I'm really impressed this one got done at all. I would recommend any of these three just for the reptile mode alone. Take your pick, you can't go wrong.
And so that ends the spooky episode of...
Yeah, okay, crocodiles aren't spooky, I admit it. Now alligators, those are spooky. I'd damn near have a heart attack if I saw one of those. Ooh! If there's a bad animated figure, I haven't seen it yet. Okay, maybe a couple of them aren't great, but we're not talking about small figures today. We're talking about a big one. Leader Claw's Bulkhead. It might not be my tallest figure, but he's definitely the densest and heaviest figure I have ever purchased. You might notice Bulkhead looks less like his animated counterpart and more like Jeff Bridges is about to climb inside and use him to kill Iron Man. We'll come back to why, but first I'd like to show you this neat part. Pressing the button on his chest gets lights and voice clips from teen heartthrob Bill Fegabucky. I feel a little nervous, to be honest. Hope I do this right.
Do it, buddy.
Well, thanks, man, but try not to interrupt.
Sorry, my bad.
All good, Bulk. Now I think there's one more here.
I'll cut off your and nail it to my door!
Let's try that again.
Time for the big guns.
There we go, much less horrifying. Now we've got his arm features, which don't do the Bulkster real justice. His left hand can move its fingers, which, considering the big guy can't hold anything, is a bit pointless. And his right arm lets you spin a buzzsaw, which is, it's actually pretty fun. Whee! And his arm missiles, which are fine. They don't do anything, so I don't even care that I don't have a full set. Transforming him takes a bit of work, but he's not exactly complicated. It's just a matter of remembering the order things go in, because if you're wrong, you more or less have to start over to get things right. The thing that surprises me about this curvy brick is that it actually fixes center of gravity and makes the whole toy feel lighter. And with his head stored away, pressing his buttons now makes sirens! Alright, back to Robot. If you so desire, you can leave this part of the vehicle mode over his head, give him a Beast Wars style mutant mask. But if you want something cool over his head, that's where the Headmaster unit comes in. Hey, can I go on a tangent about the show, briefly? Well, I'm going to anyway. In Transformers Animated, the Headmaster unit was created by Henry Masterson. Yeah, great name. Which basically cuts the head off a robot and takes control of it. Henry Masterson is also the worst character in the show. His language is peppered with leet speak. Ownage! Total ownage! He acts like a one-note idiot. He looks like this, and I honestly feel every episode he's in is the worst of each season. But this, however, is pretty neat. You put this little guy on the bulkhead and you'll get a unique sound effect.
Ownage! Total ownage!
How very droll. Pressing the button gets the same line.
Ownage! Total ownage!
Even funnier the second time, right? Now, once we take it off... Okay, yeah.
Ownage!
Okay, shut up! Anyway, this design was meant to represent what Bulkhead would have looked like if the Headmaster had kept the body and given him an upgrade if his plan had worked out. You know, his genius plan of starting a company after committing an act of terrorism on live television. Now, it might not make him look like the Bulkhead we know and love, but, you know, it's not the worst Bulkhead we've ever gotten. Ha! Burn, Legacy Bulkheads! Seriously, burn Legacy Bulkheads. So if you're a big fan of the Big Butt, I say hunt this guy down. Oh, and how could I forget? A chair mode.
Such a beautiful rainy day. Though it can lead to creepy crawlies popping their way out from the ground. Oh, we got one right here. The Predacon Retrax from the Beast Wars reissue line. Nature is healing. This is a weird one, even for Beast Wars. A yellow and partially transparent green, pillbug? Millipede? Pillipede. I think we can all agree on that. Everything about this guy makes me smile. From his kawaii desu eyes, to his moving pincers, to his spring-loaded stinger. Now, you're supposed to use the levers on his back to roll him up. But Retrax doesn't have time for that. Unlock his tabs, he does the job himself. It looks like a giant Bakugan or an orbiting moon for Unicron or a Langolier. I can go more obscure than that. Ooh, like the Shinigami King from Death Note. Perfect. I have to say, it was bold to not have a robot mode for this guy. Just the bug mode and the sphere mode really is fascinating. Huh? He does have a robot mode. Huh. Alright, let's just crack this bad boy open. Uh-huh. Oh, come on. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What's all this then? Oh, he is just all kinds of awful. He can't stand at all. His spring-loaded body clamps him up every chance it gets. Oh, but you get to unlock the fabled clap mode. That's all I got. Look, robot's a dud, but you gotta get this just for the bug form. It's just terrific. Out of this world. Thanks for appearing in my video, Retrax. Go enjoy the weather. You've earned it.
Round 2, baby! Time for another set of core class figures! Will any of them compete with the current champion, Soundwave? No, but that's just because I can't be reasoned with. I'll start with Hot Rod. Or more accurately, I'll get Hot Rod out of the way first. I don't like it, and believe me, I wanted to. I want a little Hot Rod to enjoy on my desk, but this guy is not the one. His robot mode looks awful. He can barely stand, let alone pose well. I can barely make out his hands, and his legs are just a mess to make up his car mode. Speaking of, his car mode looks mediocre, and that's just if you can actually get it to stay together. Otherwise, the damn thing looks unfinished. His wheels don't work, his head is concaved, his paint job is hideous, and I swear feels a little tacky. Like the first time everyone tries to do their own custom figure. Even the instructions annoy me. Hey guys, 3 actions do not count as 1 step, alright? The sword's attempt at lightning makes it look like it has veins. I thought being able to remove his spoiler would make things a little more interesting, you know, like a little shield, but it doesn't help. I guess I like making his little, crossbow? That's something, I guess. There's better Hot Rods, and there's definitely better core class figures. I feel so bad being negative on this one. But I'm not going to fake enthusiasm on something so half-assed. I'm not some kind of, pretender. Now, while Hot Rod toys are common, Iguanus hasn't had a toy form in over 20 years. He was a pretender back in 1988, and that's all I can tell you about him until Chris McFeely does the basics on Iguanus.
I realised mid-editing that 1988 was actually over 30 years ago. I mean, I'm still right.
With wobbly feet and wheel wings, I thought this guy would be hard to balance, but he stands great. His head doesn't have a huge amount of range, but he can look over here, look over there. What more could you need? And as for his weapon, you got his iconic, third of a collectible sword. It doesn't matter, I just want to see what he turns into. So back in the Pretender days, his inner robot became a motorcycle. But now Iguanus changes into what the hell is this? I get Wreck-Gar vibes from the hands grabbing onto the wheel, but I can definitely tell Wreck-Gar is a motorcycle. Iguanus looks like Guano? Has anyone made that joke yet? Now you might be wondering where his handles are, and I think this is where the weapon comes in. You clip it on and I guess it looks like something. I feel I should dislike this, but I can't take my eyes off it. It's so weird. He's so oddly shaped but nicely coloured, and is his tail meant to be a seat? What are you, lizard bike? And I'll tell you what though, both wheels work, and that's not always a guarantee, even on high price Transformers, so congrats on doing the bare minimum. Look, he's not the best core class toy, but I think you wouldn't go wrong giving this guy a try. They gave a weird toy a chance to become a different weird toy. And honestly, that's beautiful in a way. I mean, it's not like they took another core class toy and just painted it a new colour. Unlike the last figure we'll be discussing today, warping in from the sky, we've got Dracodon from the Kingdom line. I wasn't planning to get this guy, but a clearance price tag made this guy seem a little more worth trying. And I'm glad I did, because he's actually a bit of fun. His colours are garish and outrageous, but that's a plus in my books. But if the radioactive look is too much, you can always go for the black Predacon vertebrake. I prefer this one though. The weird alien colours make his bony form stand out all the better. His tail becomes a neat little whip sword. It's made of a different material to the rest of his body, so the tail feels kind of nice to hold. Which I can't say for the rest of Dracodon, because, oh buddy, it hurts to convert. But I think the pain is worth it, because both modes do look stunning, even at a small scale. Maybe if you don't have dainty hands like mine, he's a smoother experience. Now, unlike other fossilizers, you can't separate the pieces into armor for Kingdom toys. I mean, you can give the others the tail, but it just looks like they're holding seaweed. I can forgive that though. Hell, I can forgive that his crotch is either a skull or a pair of hands. It's just that neat. So why don't you get it on with Dracodon? Oh, that was awful. Cut the whole bit. Yeah, where's Skywarp? I haven't got one yet. Maybe I won't get one at all. I'm not buying the same core class figure just because they slapped on a coat of paint to reference something else, alright?
Who's your good boy? Who's your good boy? Oh, hello there. TallJoke here. Boy, what a year it's been. I started making reviews on YouTube, got to be in one of my dream roles in a musical, went overseas for a World Cosplay Summit exhibition event, got the spicy flu, ended my job recently, went to more than one funeral, and we adopted a cat. Caesar, who's your favourite Transformer? Is it Bumblebee? Is it Cheetor? Is it Cyberverse Dirge? Don't you ignore me. So this isn't really like a top 10 Transformers of the year or anything. I'm not ranking these. I'm just talking about ones that I got this year that I really liked but just didn't warrant their own video. So please, enjoy.
Beast Wars 10th Anniversary Transmutate.
Given to me by friend and helping hand of the channel, Elvis Ditto. This is a Build-A-Figure released through the Beast Wars Anniversary set in 2006. She doesn't transform, she barely stands upright. What a perfect summary of the original character. I love her so much that I bought the fossilizer version. Now I just have to sell a kidney to get the convention exclusive, and I can do a retrospective.
Titans return Apeface.
As you might remember, my Apeface review is the longest video to date at a whopping 7 seconds. So here's a quick summary of how I feel. While the big Siege version is a bit of a clumsy mess, this tiny titan is among one of my favourite Transformers. He transforms easily between spaceship, weapon, and the ape with a face himself. And riding along every step of the way is his headmaster Spasma. He's one of the best Transformers to fiddle with, and if the chance comes along to get one, I say take it.
Optimus Prime Dog Toy.
When I was house sitting for my mum, I brought along a gift for the dogs. The Light Up and Crunch Optimus Prime dog toy. He's cute, he's sublime, what can you say? He's a chubby little prime. You have a squeak? Which was not provided by teen heartthrob Peter Cullen, which I think is disrespectful. Everyone knows old PC has always wanted to make squeak sounds for a toy.
Let them.
I can never get the light up part to work, but Nutmeg likes them all the same. I'm certain that she'll love this toy for years to... Oh no. Oh no.
I fear the wounds are fatal.
Kingdom Trax.
It stinks! It stinks! It stinks!
Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday.
Velocitron Blurr.
I picked up a few of the Velocitron 500 figures this year, including the IDW retool of Blurr. While I like the colours and the idea of this retool, I'm not too sure about the execution. He has most of the issues I mentioned with Studio Series Blurr, hint hint, and while it does try to fix up the arm flap issue with new tabs, the heavy, non-functioning wheels put it right back to square one. Plus his vehicle mode resembles a G1 Blurr missing its shield. If you want an IDW Blurr, I say hunt down the Thrilling 30s version. You can usually find them at a decent price and it's a much cooler toy.
Animated Bumblebee!
During one of my trips to with my friends, I found this big animated Bumblebee for a steal of a price. It wasn't until we were driving home that I realised he was so cheap because he wasn't actually a transforming figure. But I love him all the same! He's got brilliant lights and sounds which are possibly provided by teen heartthrob Bumper Robinson.
Hi, I'm Bumblebee. I am one fast bot. Want to race?
And I'm glad to have him as part of my animated collection.
Transformers Prime Starscream!
The Prime incarnation of Starscream is not only my favourite Starscream, he's in my top 10 all-time favourite Transformer characters. So when I saw this little guy at All-Star Comics during my trip to Melbourne, I had to grab him. He's a lot of fun. He has these candy-looking weapons which I have to constantly resist licking. He can be a bit hard to balance, but the end result is worth it.
Everybody hurts sometimes, everybody hurts someday.
And his jet mode is, What? Oh, yeah, jet mode. It's fine. Put it up on screen. I just need to admire something.
Studio Series Dan Witwicky!
This came free with Studio Series Slug, and I still want my money back.
Retractor Reconnaissance Team 3-Pack!
I used to think the Reflector team was a stupid concept. 3 robots needed to make a single camera. But now, I still think it's stupid. I've just come to appreciate dumb things. This is a retool / recolor of the Siege Reflector to, reflect their toy colors and comes with accessories to make them look like a real camera. And a Kremzik, if you're into that. I talk about the robots, but I honestly love keeping this in camera mode so much I don't want to separate them. Just go watch the Refractor review on Thew's channel. Aren't I nice? Giving a shout out to small-time, up-and-coming channels. Just the kind of guy I am.
Velocitron Cosmos!
One of the last toys I got this year. That's right, the Holy Grail. Harder to get than a toilet roll in 2020. He may seem overblown, but I love him. Just a chunky lad who's shaped like a friend and turns into a silly little thing. Sure, his weapon is forgettable, those tabs will probably crumble to dust in a few years, and yes, his arms are as hollow as my attempts to actually criticize him. But dang it all to heck and back, he just makes me happy. And why not? He wins my Tall Joke Award for Best Transformer Toy of 2022. Yes, that's right. Turns out I was ranking this year after all. Who cares? You care? Leave a comment telling me if you give half a shit.
So you won't hear much from me in January. I'm not taking a break, far from it. I'm actually planning to record a bunch of reviews that I've already written scripts for, but just haven't actually had the time to get put on camera. I want to have a little bit of a backlog of these videos so that if I have something big happen next year, I won't just go missing for 3 months like I have this year. I'm also working on some short film ideas with this guy here. It's not Transformers based, but a lot of it is franchises that are very near and dear to my heart. Also Overwatch 2. So thanks to everyone who's been supporting me so far. Things can only go up from here, or much lower down, we'll find out. It's exciting. So remember to like, subscribe, ring that bell, follow me on Instagram, The Burning Remains of Twitter, cut the camera, I'm done now, we can stop, I want to stop, please, it's hot, I'm very hot, I want to go home, help!